Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So they have officially been announced. We now know the names of the 4 astronauts that will make up the Artemis III crew. And one of them is a familiar face on this channel. NASA made the announcement last week, so let's take a look at who these astronauts are and what new details we may have gotten about the Artemis III mission. This thing is starting to become real, you guys. So during an announcement ceremony on June 9th, 2026 at the Johnson Space Center, the world met the Artemis III crew for the very first time. Much like Artemis II, the international crew consists of 3 spaceflight veterans and 1 first-time space flyer, all with backgrounds specially suited for their upcoming mission. Last time we had 3 NASA astronauts and 1 Canada Space Agency astronaut. And this time we have 3 NASA astronauts and 1 European Space Agency astronaut. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman said during the ceremony, "You carry the fire of exploration from generations past, the confidence of this agency, and the support of this nation, and the dreams of millions who will be cheering you on, knowing that what others believe to be impossible happens to be what we do best here at NASA." Just a little bit of a humble brag from Jared there. Each Artemis III astronaut comes from a unique background and an array of experiences in aerospace engineering, piloting, EVAs, and spacecraft development. So let's take a look at each of these guys. We start off with the Artemis III mission commander, Randy Bresnik. Bresnik joined NASA as part of the 2004 astronaut class and came to NASA having served in the United States Marine Corps as an F-18 pilot who flew combat missions during Operation Iraqi Freedom. In 2009, Bresnik spent nearly 11 days aboard the ISS, serving as mission specialist of a NASA mission aboard Space Shuttle Atlantis. So this guy's got original shuttle experience. He also did another stint on ISS in 2017. More recently, Bresnik has served as assistant to the chief of the Astronaut Office for Exploration, helping oversee testing for Artemis program hardware. And he considers Santa Monica, right here in Los Angeles, to be his hometown. So I'll give him extra points for that. Next, we have ESA astronaut Luca Parmentano, who will serve as the Artemis III pilot. Before being selected as an ESA astronaut in 2009, Parmentano served in the Italian Air Force as a test pilot, where he earned the rank of colonel. Throughout his career as an Italian Air Force pilot, Parmentano has banked over 2,000 hours flying time across over 40 types of aircraft. He has also banked 366 days in space, done 6 spacewalks, and was the first Italian commander of the ISS in 2019. Next, we've got NASA astronaut Andre Douglas, who was selected as an Artemis III mission specialist, having previously served as a backup astronaut for Artemis II. And Douglas is the newbie. He was chosen for NASA's 2021 astronaut class, so to be assigned to Artemis III just 5 years later is an incredible coup for him. But this guy's qualifications, I mean, I'm outraged by his qualifications. Get ready to feel bad about yourself, everyone. He's earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, a master's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, another master's degree in naval architecture and marine engineering from the University of Michigan, yet another master's degree in electrical and computer engineering from the Johns Hopkins University, and a doctorate in systems engineering from the George Washington University. Oh, and he also served in the U.S. Coast Guard. No big deal. And last but not least is record-breaking astronaut Frank Rubio, who was also selected as an Artemis III mission specialist. I did a video about Rubio like 2 years ago and his 371 days in space, and the story is pretty incredible. He famously ended up spending over a year in space aboard the ISS after his mission's Soyuz spacecraft sprang a significant coolant leak, thereby accidentally setting a NASA record for the single longest space flight. Rubio previously served as a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter pilot with over 1,100 hours of flight time, including 600 hours hours of combat experience. He's also a U.S. Army flight surgeon, has received a Bronze Star, and is a jump master with over 650 free fall skydives under his belt. We also met the Artemis III backup crew member, Bob Hines, at the ceremony. Hines joined NASA's 2017 astronaut class after serving 23 years in the United States Air Force as a fighter pilot and instructor. Hines previously flew to space aboard the SpaceX Crew 4 mission to the ISS in 2022, where he logged 170 days in space. I mean, these guys really do make you wonder what we're all doing with our time, because apparently we could all be doing like 20 more things. And when they made the announcement, the Artemis II crew was there to literally pass the baton. I'm not joking, they actually did that. Reed, Victor, and Christina, I guess Jeremy couldn't be there, all showed up for hugs and handshakes, a few words, and a passing of the baton. And Commander Randy Bresnik wanted to let them know that he was very touched by the gesture.
I know all of us are very touched by the thoughtful symbolism of the passing of the baton. But I think now, after your mission, you're passing us something far greater. The world watched your mission. And over the course of those 10 days, we saw how you inspired people worldwide. You saw how something was ignited within people, it was ignited within all of us by watching your mission. While this may look like just a baton, right now it's in my hand, it feels like this big flaming, Olympic torch that you, Reed, Christina, Victor, and Jeremy lit. And the world was entranced by its flame for the 10 days of the mission. We, the Artemis III crew, are honored to be able to carry this torch forward.
Now, it seems like NASA is still targeting mid to late 2027 for the Artemis III mission, which will be much longer than the Artemis II mission, but remain much closer to home. Unless it changes again, the plan is for the 4 newly assigned astronauts of Artemis III to rendezvous and dock the Orion spacecraft with one or both landers NASA is developing, and lay the groundwork for future Artemis missions to the moon that will follow. NASA's Jeremy Parsons, Artemis program manager, said, "Artemis III is an incredibly exciting, complicated, and highly coordinated multi-launch campaign. It's going to happen in a short period of time with 3 of the world's most powerful rockets." And speaking of the world's most powerful rockets, Blue Origin definitely still seems to think that they are in the mix here. Their senior VP, John Caloris, was at this event, and he said that their goal is still the same. Caloris said, "We've redoubled our efforts and are moving forward. We will measure ourselves not only by our successes, but how we respond to setbacks." Now, if Blue Origin can in fact recover from the damage to the launch pad in time, the company will launch its Blue Moon lunar lander atop of one of its New Glenn rockets. Once Blue Moon is in low Earth orbit, the Artemis III crew will dock its Orion spacecraft with the Blue Moon lander for 2 days. While docked, the crew will open the hatch into the lander and test its systems, including life support. From there, the crew will undock with Blue Moon and begin rendezvous procedures with SpaceX's Starship. Orion will meet up with Starship for just 1 day, testing docking procedures, and there will be no crew cabin on the Starship lander, just docking hardware. And another goal of Artemis III is for the crew to test out new spacesuits built for EVAs on the lunar surface. Now, whether or not Artemis III will include an EVA while in Earth's orbit is yet to be determined. Artemis's EVA suits are being designed by Axiom Space and have faced their own delays. The suit tests performed during Artemis III could potentially use a prototype not yet ready for use in the vacuum of space, though any data gathered from use of the suit in 0G will be valuable for its development. As for the Artemis III crew, they are now in full training mode. They will spend the next year and a half or more practicing procedures and real-time scenarios aboard the Orion simulator at the Johnson Space Center, as well as the recently installed Blue Moon training mock-up. And NASA officials have voiced their confidence in their ability to ready SLS in time for a 2027 liftoff. Now, NASA has shifted the target from early 2027 to late 2027 with the development delays of Starship and Blue Moon. Though Isaacman keeps saying mid-2027, so I don't know. But whether that date slips yet again will depend in large part on either or both of the landers' readiness. And this could certainly result in one of the two getting left behind. And if that happens, whichever lander launches with Artemis III will very likely be the one that delivers astronauts to the lunar surface on Artemis IV, which NASA is hoping to launch in 2028. Should neither lander be ready to launch by NASA's 2027 window for the upcoming mission, a moon landing the following year would be unlikely. This would probably shift NASA's entire timeline for establishing a permanent lunar base further into the 2030s, which would not be the dream. So we'll see. So it's a lot of this right now. It's like a mixture of supreme confidence and planning and testing and finger crossing. So it's very space. So what do you guys think about all this? I mean, these astronauts, first of all, seem incredible, right? Are we excited for Artemis III, or does it just seem like there's a lot of things up in the air right now that are maybe preventing us from getting too excited right now? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, I will see you in the next video.